Hi all, good morning.
Hello, Rajesh.
Thank you. So do you have any questions in last session, Amazon S3?
No.
No questions, right? Thank you. So let's continue the Amazon S3 topic and few advanced features we need to explain. So in the last session, I had created a bucket and how to upload the data and how to download the data. So these two topics we discussed, okay? And the properties of the bucket I will explain today. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah.
Day before yesterday. So if you open the bucket, so this is a last time I have uploaded the data. So if you want to download the data, you can select that data and you can click download directly. Okay. And you can choose the destination, how you need to download the data. This is a very simple step. This is a very simple step. You can download the data from Amazon S3 console. See, the file is downloaded in the download folder. Now can check the download location. See here, the RTF file will be available. Let me delete here. So what is the main point is whoever user, S3 user, can download the file and upload the file, download the file and upload the file only if they have access to AWS Management Console. They can upload the data and download the data. They can create the bucket in S3 service. Am I correct? Will you accept this point? If you have access to the AWS Management Console, then only you can do this activity. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Suppose if you don't have access to AWS Management Console, if you don't have access, maybe you are not a IAM Management Console user, admin console user. Will you able to do this activity like a bucket creation, file upload, file download? Is this possible? No. So without a AWS admin console access, we can provide access to S3 service. A user can create a bucket, upload the data into the bucket, download the data from the bucket, and manage other activities in S3 service. That is possible. So let me explain the concept. So let's take an example. One of the user, one of the user let's take example username is Indra. Okay, username is Indra. See guys, The username is Indra. And this is a cloud. Hmm. And this is S3 service. Without a AWS admin console access, how user can able to access the S3 services to manage the buckets. So here the concept is in the system, in the user system, we will install S3 browser. We will install a tool name called S3 browser. Okay, we will install S3 browser. S3 browser. So we need to install a application name called S3 browser on the user system. With the help of S3 browser, we can access the S3 service without logging into aws.amazon.com. Okay, so first we need to install S3 browser application on the system. You can go to the browser, internet, Google, click on S3 browser, download this file. Okay, download this file. Let me check in my system S3 browser is already installed or not. Yes, S3 browser is already installed. So very simple step, we can download and double click and install. Very simple step is that. Let me click this, go to download.
Rajesh, are you there?
So guys, we successfully downloaded. I think download is get failed. So Let me download once again S3 browser.
Your screen also frozen, Rajesh.
Okay, let me stop and share it once again.
Okay.
Is that okay now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Now I'm downloading the S3 browser. So this product is from, you can download s3browser.com. So this software is powered by Amazon Web Services. And now it is trying to download. It's almost a 8 MB size file. And everybody, you need to install this file. It's very important for day-to-day activities. So now this is a software file. Right click and install as a run as administrator. And next, finish. Okay, so this is the S3 browser console. Okay, so we can connect the S3 services directly from this application, and you can create the buckets and you can manage your activities. Okay, but how you can connect to S3 service from this S3 browser application? If you want to connect, here, you need a permission in IAM service. You need a permission in IAM service. So then only you can connect. So there is a service name called IAM. In this IAM, you need a account. Example, now can go to AWS Management Console, select IAM service. Click here. Go to users. So let's creating a username Indra. Okay. So I'm selecting the username is Indra. Click on next. And now providing the permissions. Attach policies directly. Which service is required? S3 service is required. S3 full access. Now click on next. And finally, click create a user. Click create a user. So username Indra is created. Click here. Here is an option called security credentials. So there is an option called programmatic calls from AWS. Okay. Programmatic access. So create a programmatic credentials keys. Click here, and we have a AWS keys for best alternative access. We have a different situations are there, and you can select and you can create it. So command line interface, local code, application running on AWS compute service. See here, AWS compute services, only if you want running compute services you want to manage, and maybe a third party services if you want to connect like this, application running outside of AWS, maybe if it is not listed. Suppose if you select here, if you select this, so can read this uh, uh, important items so very carefully. Never store your keys on your plain text in code repository or anywhere. Disable or delete access keys when no longer needed. So right now, when I click next, it will ask to create a keys. Example, Indra access keys I'm creating. Okay, when I click create, the two things will be readily available. Copy this. Okay, click show, copy this, and keep it in a safe and secure location, and click done. So with this keys, a user cannot logging into AWS Management Console. User cannot logging into AWS Management Console. But by using these credentials, by using these access keys, user can connect it from this type of applications to manage the services. Example, go to accounts, manage accounts is there. So previously some account I created and I'm going to delete. Save changes. Now I need to create a new account. Username is Indra. What is the access ID? This is access ID. This is a secret access. Add new account. So successfully added. You can see this. You can see this. So whatever the buckets I have created in S3 service, the two buckets, is it showing or not? It is showing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't need any AWS Management Console to manage S3 service. So I can connect from S3 browser. I can manage S3 service completely. So here, any questions from your side?
So Rajesh, even if I'm creating that S3 services, so in company, right? So the people will be creating different people creating S3 services. So every S3 service visible to everyone,
Exactly.
or
What are the buckets you're creating in that area? All the buckets will be visible.
to everyone, whoever is in
Everyone,
that.
whoever access to S3 services admin access.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any specific folder level access, right? I believe.
Not a folder level access. It is a bucket level access, Bhaskar.
Supposed to in team, some read permission someone, like write permission someone in this way.
So that's a different story.
Okay.
Okay, that's accessibility. That's a different story. Okay, good question, but that's a different story. So now, suppose here Pepsi web app bucket one is there. If I want to delete this file, I can delete. Now I can check this Pepsi. Hmm, refresh. The data is gone. So I can directly upload from here. Hmm, see, this is a way I can easily manage my AWS management console. So this is a object screen, object options. If you want to upload a specific bucket, even you can directly upload the folder also. How you can upload the folder? You can click upload. You can choose a folder by clicking add a folder, and you can go to downloads. Suppose maybe this script, uploading a folder, upload. So here in the upload folder, there's some three important files are there. There's install dependencies, start server, stop server, like that. And click on upload like this. So the exact folder structure is uploaded successfully into the S3. See, script folder is there. Inside that, the data is available. So whatever the data you're uploaded, okay, by default, the data will be stored in Amazon S3. The storage class is standard. Storage class is standard. After that, you can change to different class. Let me explain. Let me explain. What is a storage class? So storage class is a different a functionality, different features, different benefits available to store the same data in a different classes to save the money to paying the monthly bill for S3 data. So first we need to understand one by one what are the classes are available and each class what is the benefit is there. See here, now we have a different storage classes are there. Slowly we'll learn one by one what is the use of the storage class and I'll explain. So first storage class is S3 standard. This is a by default storage class in Amazon S3. Whatever the data you have uploaded into S3 bucket by default, the data will be available in S3 standard. So what is the benefit here is, first of all, it is a low latency. Low latency means latency is a network slowness. low network slowness, that means best internet connectivity, high throughput performance. So when we want to get access the data from S3 bucket, you have a large amount of data can be accessible. Okay, that's called high throughput. So that means S3 standard class is one of the best storage class. You can store the data, can access, and you can manage it. And this particular standard class is a 99.99% of durability. So durability is a long durability. If you want to keep the data for a longer period of time, this is one of the best storage class. And even you can store the data in multiple availability zones. That means multiple data centers. That means a specific location you can upload into the multiple data centers. Yes, Bhaskar, you can ask your question. Bhaskar, you can ask your question. You're raising your hand. Maybe I think you by mistakenly you raise your hand. Okay, good. So next, this is a design for, okay, this is a design for a continuous availability, a data storage. Okay, so almost AWS is giving 99.99% of availability. So example, I'll give you some example for availability. So Indra is working in my company. He is my administrator, but he is not completely available for the shift in a day. So based on the office timings, he'll be available. Maybe 10 to 7 job means only available in 10 to 7. I can utilize Indra time only between 10 to 7. So before 10 o'clock, after 7 o'clock, okay, no, I cannot use it because based on his time. So entire day is 24 hours, right? So 24 hours is 100%, and his 9 hours or 8 hours, okay, we will be dividing that. So that means if 8 hours is working in a day, so only his availability is at 33.33 percentage. Remaining 66.66 percentage is unavailable in a day. Am I correct? So same way here, this particular service is available in the round the clock. That is 100%. But 100% no service will be available. So at most 99.99% will be available. So that means 0.01 percentage is downtime in a year. In a year, not one day or 1 week or 1 month. Here, the downtime is a 0.01 percentage. So very minute and is ignorable timing zone. So we can use these services for a backup of any important data for a long time. And we have a security features like a SSL. You can use the a data in a transit location. Okay. So like example, the data will be uh, traveling or maybe transferring from one locations to another location. So we will use SSL security services to provide the security. And if the data is in rest position, it is not transferring to another location, sitting on idle position, we have an encryption. So if anybody is copying the data in rest or maybe in a transit situation, the data is in a different format. The person unable to view the data, what it is inside it. That's a very secured information. So we have a S3 lifecycle management is there. So automatically we can migrate the services between one storage class to another storage class. That is possible. That's a lifecycle management option is we can migrate the data from one storage class to another storage class. That's a benefit is available. That's a benefit is available. Good. So as we discussed, S3, what is the benefit as the benefits are there? So the prices is compared to other services. S3 standard class charges are very high. S3 standard class services are very high. So let me show you. See here. If you go with the a standard class, hmm, per GB cost is this much. Hmm, That's a 2 rupees 5 paise. If you go to other than standard intelligent tiering, this is very low price. Only standard class is higher price that you can check this. See, per GB cost, per GB cost in a month, they'll be charging for 1 GB 45 paise, 45 paise. So if you guys are storing 100 GB data, let's take example, 100 GB data, you're paying only for 45 rupees in a month. It's a very, very cheap cost. And coming to intelligent tiering, okay, so another model is here the charges is very less here comparative with the standard class. Suppose infrequent access is there, standard infrequent access. What is the charges will be there? So 1 rupee 7 paise. So compared with the standard class, the remaining storage classes are very less compared to the standard class storage type. Okay, the next question is in real-time environment, you guys are storing the data in standard classes or in a different classes. So we will use all the storage classes depends on the situation. Okay, let me explain a very important concept in standard. The data will be available in the data is available in multiple availability zones. So that means if any data is down in a specific data center, the data can be accessible from another data center also. That is possible. Coming to intelligent tiering option is that. What is meaning of intelligent tiering? So the name itself, it is telling that intelligent tiering. So example, you have a personal laptop or desktop. Daily are you using all the data in your laptop? Like a 200 GB data is there. Daily you're going to each and every folder and file and you're opening it? No, right? Very rarely you're using. It depends on the situation. So the concept was dividing into frequently accessed data, infrequent access data, and some archive instance data. Archive means backup. So these all the activities will be taken care by intelligent tiering automatically. The billing will be get adjusted. So if you're using this intelligent tiering, 40% of the storage cost you will be saving in your monthly bill. Whichever the data you keep on using, that will be a frequent access. If your data is not using for longer period of time, that data will be considered as infrequent and will be moved to backup technology, and it will save the data into the S3 services. Once again you're using the services, again it will become as a frequent access storage, and as per the billing will be charged. Is that good or not? Uh, how many people you understand this concept? If you not understand, please let me know. I can give you the another example. What is meaning of intelligent tiering? Ramya, Bhaskar, are you clear?
Yes, sir, I'm good. What the
Good.
concept?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ramya, what about you? No questions, right, Ramya? Okay, very good. Even though if you are clear, I'll give you some example. So you have a laptop, so you have a battery. If you're continuously using your laptop for 6 hours, the battery will get drained. But if you continuously, if you're not using, maybe you're working from home, maybe 10 minutes you're working, half an hour break. Again, 10 minutes we are working, half an hour, 1 hour break. So the whatever the break time, okay, so you're not using the laptop, right? You have a power settings will be there. So if your mouse and your keyboards, if you're not touching anything for maybe continuously 10 minutes, the system will be moved to idle state. Yes or no? In regular state, it will be consuming more power than in idle state. Similar kind of intelligent tiring will be also working in the same situation. When you're accessing the data, that will become as a frequent access data. Very rarely you're accessing, that's infrequent. And if you're not using the data for a longer period of time, that will become as a archive data. It's a backup. Okay. So you'll be save your money in infrequent access 40%. If you stored the backup, archiving the data, 68% of the bill you'll be saved it. It's one of the best technology. If you want, you can use it. So durability will be 99.99999999%. That is a very good thing. And even this data also available across the data center, across the data center. Coming to standard IA. Standard IA means standard infrequent access. So whatever the benefits we discussed in the standard, even standard infrequent access also, same thing. but the charges are very less. Charges are very less. But whatever the data you're using frequent access data, that is called standard. Very rarely you're using any data that will be a infrequent access. That's the only difference is there. The remaining benefits are both are same. Frequently accessed data, infrequently accessed data. Coming to S3, one zone infrequent access. So standard infrequent access and one zone infrequent access both are same. No changes at all. But only one difference is only single availability zone the data will be available. More than one availability zone, they'll not keep the data. In case your particular availability zone is down, 100% downtime is there. But AWS is not like that. It's providing 100% availability, 99.99%. But options are there. Instead of you storing the data in multiple availability zones, you can keep it in a single availability zones. It reduces the cost than standard infrequent access. If you want, you can use this. This is also best method. Most of the companies are using this. But here, the data will be stored in multiple availability zone, so slightly price will be high. And here, the charges are very, very less. The charges are very, very less. Are you clear? Any other questions in standard, intelligent tiering, standard infrequent access, one zone infrequent access? Ajar, any question?
Yes, sir. My question is that when we are using intelligent tiering, like when we have 100 files, is that like 50% are active and 50% are inactive files.
Mhm.
So they're charging for the total 100 files or only for the 50 files that we are kept inactive?
That's a good thing. So based on the folder structure, okay, based on the folder structure, your data will be adjustable. Example, there's a some amount of data you're continuously accessing. During the time, some data is not accessing for a longer period of time. You're not touching even single click also. Even if you click a single click on the folder, it will be accessible, right? Understand? Whether you're using or not, no matter what.
Yes.
So, example, you turn on the switch, okay, fan switch. Maybe you're not in that room. Fan will be turned on, right?
Yes.
The power will be consumed. Probably your fan has any kind of sensor. Somebody will be moving in that particular room, in the particular ring. So the fan will continuously protect it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So example, nowadays we have motion sensor devices, even some TVs, also motion electronic sensor. If you're not available on that particular living area, 10 to 15 minutes continuously playing that video. After that, it will be showing the message, hey, or you want to continue the video? Please click yes. Otherwise, the system will be shut down. The TV will be shut down. You are seeing right nowadays in your TVs? Hmm?
Yes, sir. We got that facilities.
Yeah, why? Especially you are
To
seeing
save
this kind
power.
of message on YouTube. Hmm?
To save some power, something.
No, let me tell you, I'm the YouTube owner. Okay, if you're watching some YouTube videos, okay, you're watching some YouTube videos, and you're watching some advertisements in YouTube, and you will be approaching to the particular vendor, and you're buying some product, and you'll get some information. So my business YouTube, my audience, and my customers. So here, there's two things will be there. YouTube users will be watching the videos. So YouTube, by using the YouTube video, they will earn some business. Example, there is a MI company, they're releasing a new mobile. The mobile related small information will be displaying on the YouTube video. That will be advertisements. So when they are watching, the people start buying it. So if 1 lakh people are not watching, just playing the video, they'll be moved out from the system. What is the use? Tell me. And unnecessarily, the traffic will be coming to YouTube data center. So what is the purpose of video will be playing? If the video is playing unnecessarily, okay, I need to pay the bills to the YouTube channel owners. Yes or no? Do you accept?
Yes, sir.
So to avoid this unnecessary paying the charges to the customers, so YouTube is introduced. If you continuously, if you're watching the videos, okay, you'll get a message. Once you click yes, then will be continue. If you're not continuous, the video will get paused. So same way, intelligent tiring also will act like this.
So they will be using the same price for the active and inactive files for
No,
billing.
different price.
Okay.
So coming to the Glacier, so Glacier is an S3 services one of the feature, but you can get it from the different console. So this is S3 bucket, S3 services, and if you go to storage, we have S3 Glacier is a different storage. This is used for archiving the data for your project. They will be using it. S3 Glacier. So this is a separate service. I will explain later. Okay, because of that's a separate topic, and services is there. And if you want to save the money for your data storing on AWS cloud, and if you move to S3 Glacier, you can archive the data. That means you can take the backup of the data into Glacier, and you'll save the more money. You can save the more money. So how to change the data from one class to another class, between standard to standard infrequent access and standard infrequent access intelligent tiering, and one zone infrequent access also. So Glacier I'll explain in the next session. So go to the bucket S3. Select the buckets. Select the buckets. And we have a data is there. And we have option called edit storage class. Edit storage class. See here, there is an options are available. You can check this. So standard class, the data will be available in more than 3 availability zones, more than 3 availability zones. Intelligent tier also more than 3 availability zones. Standard infrequent access also more than 3 availability zones. One zone infrequent access is only 1 availability zone will be available. So standard will be used for designed for frequently accessed data more than once in a month with a millisecond access. It will be a standard access. In a month, if you are one time, if you click, it will become as a standard. Intelligent tiering is data with changing unknown access pattern. Any type you can, it will be accessible no matter what. They will be keep on monitoring your data. Infrequent access is infrequently accessed data once in a month with a millisecond. Very rarely you're using. Very rarely you're using. So that will be infrequent access data. One zone means within a month, okay, you're accessing very rarely one time and this data will be stored in only one data center. That means only one availability zone. But condition is if you are move the data, minimum 30 days, storage duration time will be required. That's a cooling period. So minimum object size is 128 KB you need to maintain. Minimum 128 KB is required. Are you clear? How to change from one storage class to another storage class? Just selecting this and save the changes. That's it. Very simple. That's very simple. Okay. Any other questions? So if you want to change the storage class in S3 browser, you can select the data, right click. You can go to, there's an option called change storage class to standard infrequent access. This is the options are there. So if your S3 service is updated and you need to update your S3 browser also, then only what are the changes is there, the changes will get reflected and you can able to manage the services easily. Okay. So in the next session, we'll discuss about the remaining services and Glacier. So 2 more sessions are available in S3 service. 2 more sessions. Before ending up the session today, any questions? Any questions? No?
No.
Thank you all.